In the tunnel.
In the tunnel.
In the tunnel. You're listening to In the Tunnel.
Hello and welcome to In the Tunnel, episode number 86. We
another hiatus.
and we probably were supposed to get to this, a couple weeks
Ages
ago. What did we recorded the picking 3 weeks ago, so probably like 2 weeks ago.
Our goal is now with my grad school winding down that we will be back on a hopefully normal schedule in the near future.
Yeah.
And also just a random thought, ignore the duck over my shoulder. I don't know why it's there. Actually, there's two ducks here.
One we couldn't see. Okay. All right, anyway, so yeah, we're picking some winners. What do you say about that?
We were lucky enough to get a lottery ticket. I don't know.
Nope. All right, so first is the play-ins, and our play-ins had Florida State and Creighton first. So, who do you got?
I'd go with Creighton.
Okay.
It makes the most amount of sense to pick something that makes zero sense. So, we really have to optimize that brand.
Well, Florida State won.
Yeah, that's about right.
Wasn't Creighton good this year anyway?
They were both good.
Oh.
Florida State had UNCG in the first round, and Florida State made 0 3-pointers, despite being the best ACC team for 3-point shooting, and barely won.
Oh, still won though.
Yeah, well, after the fouling, UNCG was only down 1 with about 3 minutes.
Okay. Anyway, pretty Iowa good. And Delaware's next. We'll just get right to it. It is Delaware.
Fair enough.
All right.
Delaware makes sense.
Then we have Iona and Austin PA.
Also, I think we got at the very least one exact seeding right for the tournament this year.
Really?
Yeah, I think we did. I have to run through here.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah, Georgetown was a 12 seed.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, anyway, Colorado and Sam Houston State. It is Sam Houston.
Right.
All right. So now that we know the actual 64 teams, we can get to the actual round of 64. Okay. And so now that we actually have our 1-16 matchup for this group, we're just gonna see if Florida State has actually made it any further. And they have not.
Hooray.
All right, then we have...
kind of karma I like to see.
Then we have Temple and Baylor.
I am not petty at all.
Which is Baylor. And then Idaho and Charlotte. Which is Charlotte. I think our bracket is shaping up to have upsets just like the actual tournament did, so...
Well, yeah, especially this year.
Yeah.
Absolute train wreck. we created a bracket pool, and I was looking pretty good after the first day, and it was absolutely ruined by the second.
Yeah, mine wasn't looking so hot the first day, but
I ended up losing 3 of my final 4 teams.
Yep.
In that second day.
Yep. All right.
Or no, by that second round.
Second round. Yeah.
Illinois fucking did me dirty.
All right. Western Michigan and Southern Illinois. It's Southern Illinois.
Speaking of Illinois.
Okay. And for the bottom half, starting with Texas A&M CC and Stanford. You have this wheel just likes me typing in more, doesn't it? Most of the winners has had the longer name.
Knowing you do tend to like to do the extra work, the legwork. You are the production behind this whole thing.
Yep. And then we have Appalachian State and New Hampshire.
I'm guessing New Hampshire.
Nope.
Appalachian State. Dude, why do I guess these things?
Good question.
I'm already 0 for 2.
Yeah. All right. Kennesaw State and South Carolina Upstate.
Either way, you're spelling a lot of stuff here.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know with you. Because spelling is really like the worst thing you've ever done. Other than like the placement of a comma.
Hey, that's grammar and spelling, isn't it? Basically the same thing.
Remember in high school, it was like you had to have a paper proofread by like 3 people. No one benefited from that more than Sean.
Yep. All right. And Townsend rounds out this bracket of 16 for their first matches.
Mm-hmm.
All right. On to the next one.
Chicago State.
All right. And this bracket has the only seed that we guessed correctly of Georgetown, right?
So I'm just looking at the other regions.
Oh, okay. Well, the wheel does not wait for you.
Oh.
But it still has me writing out the longer one. All right.
I feel like St. John's would have made the tournament as an 8 seed if they made it, but they did not.
Oh, okay. Then we have VMI and Texas State.
Yeah, we only got the one right.
All right, and will Georgetown make it here against Tulane?
I don't know. I'm just surprised that both of our 1 seeds have advanced so far.
Yeah, pretty surprising. All right, and finally Campbell and Rice.
Also, I want to congratulate you. Just a little delayed on being able to get Tulane and take a break from the keyboard. and then the followed up with Rice, no less. Although, just looking at Campbell's logo, it deserved to happen this way, because whatever the fuck that is, with like a smile on the hump of a camel, that just needed to stop before it began.
Stop! No, stop, please.
You mean to tell? And you know it's like marketing students that help to like create the logos just as much as like a marketing firm.
Oh my god!
Both parties botched that.
Yeah. Well, the students are a little bit more off the hook than the firm.
No, they're not, because like the students should be like educated to the point where like if they're in the same meeting, or actually, I'm sorry, it's even more stupid. It's a flag on the hump of a camel that's mad because apparently a light flag is all it takes to piss off a camel. Also, a fighting camel. I'm not exactly sure I've heard that phrase before. Either way, this is not good.
All right.
I feel like students should be more accountable of like if you're learning something, applying it.
All
Just
right.
be like,
Well,
hey, we learned that you're not supposed to do this.
anyway, will this play-in seed make it? Manhattan versus Delaware.
Delaware Water Gap. It's in New Jersey.
They will, though. All right. Then we have San
I was
Jose
right on
State.
that, right? Delaware Water Gap was in New Jersey?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
San Jose State and Georgia.
It's been so long since I went there.
We went there in high school.
I remember, didn't we have a field trip there when we were kids or something?
Yeah.
Like elementary school, like Hollenbrook or something?
Yeah. Anyway, back on topic a little bit. Southern University and Chicago State.
Will it happen? Will it happen? Will it happen?
No.
Fuck. And there, down goes our hearts. The
Yep.
People's Champions out once again this year.
Yep. And finally, Duke and Wake Forest to round out this region. I don't think it's a surprise that Duke takes it.
Given that they didn't make the tournament
Yes.
this year.
Yeah. My point. Anyway.
I serve, you volley, your point.
On to UNC Asheville and Austin, PA.
Sure.
Sure.
Austin P, PA, P here, P there.
Well,
P in a cup.
no more. Because UNC Asheville take it.
Yep. Our third and 1 seed to advance.
Surprising. Finally, Florida Atlantic and Monmouth.
Florida Atlantic.
Nope.
Monmouth it is.
I thought you said
Just
you were going to stop predicting it.
Well, you know, it's always going to be in my heart to go against New Jersey.
Yep. All right.
Which is why I say Lafayette here.
And you're still wrong.
And it's always not in my heart, but it's always common sense that New Jersey goes against me.
Yeah. And finally, Grambling.
It normally wins.
And Louisiana.
That's why they kept me there for 20 years.
All right. Louisiana.
Louisiana. The
Take it.
Raging Cajuns.
Yep.
I'm not singing. Do not tell me to take it.
Anyway, on to Houston and Butler.
We'll become the first silent podcast if I have to start singing. Just throw this back to the 20s.
All right, with Houston taking it, on Southern Utah and Oakland. Southern Utah.
So many schools I've never heard of. This March Madness is always a good test of like how many colleges do you actually know that
Yeah.
are Division I?
And then if they
'Cause you
don't give an
always
inkling of
learn-
where they are, do
Right.
you even know where it is?
Right. It's like ones that if you have to pronounce for the first time that don't have an actual location like Eastern Illinois in it is like
Well,
you're really throwing up a Hail Mary here.
yeah. And on the topic of Eastern Illinois, well, it's an Illinois showdown.
It's like last year when we found out that there were 2 St. Francis schools. And
Yep.
they both were in the same conference.
Yep.
It's like, how original could you be as Northern Illinois wins the 7-10 matchup?
Yep. And Tennessee and North Dakota round out this region.
North Dakota, probably.
Wow, you got one.
Just seemed like time, you know? Seemed like time for a 1 or a 2 to go down.
Yeah, and so will all the 1 seeds make it? No? I hope
was
not.
saying we already had a 15 that won.
Yeah.
But we didn't have.
Well, we have a 1 that lost.
Yay, Binghamton.
All right. And then on to St. John's and Minnesota.
I take St. John's because Minnesota always screws me. Minnesota it is.
Northeastern and Delaware State.
You take this wheel out in the backyard and bury it with a shovel.
I don't think you can take this wheel out and bury it with a shovel pretty effectively.
I don't know, your webcam sucks. Why don't you just take the whole thing out? Not that my webcam's any better. I'm pretty sure this still has that green background.
Yeah. Anyway, St. Francis of New York in Florida Atlantic. Oh, well, St. Francis of New York, because we have to specify, is the winner.
Yeah, because last year we had St. Francis of PA.
Yeah.
They do have very different logos, though.
Yes. Anyway,
Yeah,
on to the last half of the last region. So Purdue Fort Wayne versus our last play-in team.
Irish of Puberty Dame.
All right, and so our only one play-in team makes it out of the round of 64. Then we have
Purdue Fort Wayne win.
our Arkansas State and Rhode Island.
Arkansas State and Rhode. Arkansas it is. Or Arkansas State, I should say. Fun fact, Arkansas was a 3 seed, so kind of got it right.
All right, then we have Pittsburgh and Ohio State.
Oh, this is Ohio State all day.
No, you have no faith.
I mean, half the team actually transferred out after this season. And the other guy who didn't transfer out is going to test the NBA draft.
Huh? Okay.
We have nobody.
Okay. And the last one in the round of 64, Marshall and Harvard. Remember, Harvard didn't actually even play a game, so will they win one? What does that mean? Their opponents just forfeited? Well, I guess Marshall just forfeited.
Yeah, I mean, look, VCU did in the actual tournament.
Yeah.
Because of COVID, they had to.
Yep. Okay, and so we've gone through the whole round of 64. Let's just pop into the round of 32. So back at the first division we did, let's just get into it.
I just noticed that you just put bot instead of bottom.
Well, yeah, 3 letters on each side.
I mean, top is a full word.
This is how it was.
You think so differently. You didn't think top, bottom, you just thought 3 and 3.
Yeah, dude.
I know you've told me you think in terms of numbers instead of letters, but like I didn't think to this degree.
Come on.
All right, anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Anyway, will top or bot win?
It's always the bots as we go further and further into the future.
Well, apparently you're wrong, at least in this instance. But what's new, huh? Anyway, Charlotte and Southern Illinois. So we have Southern Illinois making it to the round of 16. It's still making me type all the longer names, man.
You can just say App State. I won't judge, but God will.
All right, man.
I don't know which God, but God will.
Okay. Well, I don't know if we'll ever find out, huh?
Same God that makes the Pirates stink every year.
Anyway, so yeah, your round of 16 for this region is Santa Clara, Southern Illinois, Appalachian State, and Kennesaw State.
I'd be really ecstatic if there was a Santa Clara State. Just state schools that are smaller than it's like Cleveland State but smaller.
Okay.
Like if Raritan Valley Community College had a state.
It doesn't?
RVCC State University.
Anyway, on to Tulane and Rice.
For those who don't know, RVCC was our local community college in New Jersey,
Yeah.
where all the brainiacs went. Could go
I
straight
mean,
from school to the shop, right?
to be fair, like it's pretty like decent in terms of a community college.
I guess. I don't know. I'd rather have just not gone the one.
Anyway, on to the last matchup for this region for the round of 16: Southern University and Duke. It is
Southern, no, Duke, top seed, right?
no, it's top or bottom of the.
Okay, yeah, we gotta change that next year.
Okay. All right. Anyway, on to the next region.
At least you got this figured out. Thank God we're doing this on audio, where top and bottom doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, and then UNC Asheville and Monmouth. Oh, okay. I was not sure which one was gonna win that one.
Whoa, ho! Overtime winner.
I guess that was a pretty
Just like
close one.
apparently Gonzaga, quote unquote.
Dude, that last game though. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, I had them minus 9.5 at plus 100. That cost me about $25.
Yeah, I mean, don't you always bet against them though?
I just never bet, in their favor. I just don't bet those games. But now, the one time I do, fuck it, I'll believe the hype. This is the first time I didn't live bet them because their spread total is always so fucking big. And they screwed me over. They, at no point were even close to it. I think they got to 7.
Yeah.
And then immediately had the lead erased.
Yup. Meanwhile, they're not even in our. They're not even in the wheels bracket.
Yeah, because we don't acknowledge them. I might have genuinely taken them out.
No, it was definitely in there.
Okay, so in the interim we had Fairleigh Dickinson, Southern Utah, and North Dakota win their matchups. North Dakota against Northern Illinois, Southern Utah against Houston, and Fairleigh Dickinson against Louisiana.
Yep. And on to the last region. We have Binghamton and Minnesota to start it. You're going to root for Binghamton.
I'm rooting for hockey schools. Minnesota it is.
Okay.
Minnesota, Duluth, but still.
Anyway, Northeastern.
I thought University of Minnesota had a good hockey team.
Yeah.
Not as good as Minnesota Duluth, but
But I think Minnesota schools just have good hockey teams anyway.
oh yeah, I mean for sure. Not as good as Wisconsin, but actually no, better than Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Minnesota's a state of hockey. All right, St. Francis, New York over Northeastern.
Yep. And Purdue, Fort Wayne over Arkansas State.
Sir.
Finally, will Pittsburgh forfeit to Harvard? No, they will not.
Hey, number 7 seed moves on to the Sweet 16, or whatever it's called in this generic version, because the NCAA doesn't allow for name and likeness.
Okay. All right, and on to the round of 16 matches. So first we have Santa Clara and Southern Illinois, which is Santa Clara.
Santa Clara, not Clara. Who the fuck is Clara? What would you do for a Klondike bar?
What's a Clara?
I don't know. This is where Steve Nash went to college. I'm not sure if you know that.
No, I don't. Okay.
They
All
were
right.
15 seed and took down University of Arizona when they were a 2 seed in the 90s.
All right. Well, anyway, Battle of the States.
Well, not really. Santa Clara's not a state.
Well, no, Appalachian State and Kennesaw State, dude.
Okay, I mean, Appalachian's still not a state, and Kennesaw definitely not a state.
Well, they both have state in their name.
I am so confused right now. Would you mind teaching me geography? I want to go back to like 4th grade when we had to do state capitals. I aced every one of those tests.
Well, unfortunately, that's not happening anytime soon.
I would guarantee that there are politicians who don't know what we had to be tested on in 4th grade.
Yep. Anyway, Eastern Kentucky
Eastern
takes.
Kentucky, by the way, Appalachian State won. I'm not sure if we mentioned that.
Oh yeah. And then Eastern Kentucky beat Tulane in the next match.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, Delaware and Southern University is Southern.
All right. So right now, just to recap, we have the first 4 of our round of 8 filled in with Santa Clara, Appalachian State out of the first region, Eastern Kentucky and Southern out of the second region, and
Yep.
then 4 more to go.
Yep. And beginning the next region is UNC Asheville and Fairleigh Dickinson.
Fairleigh Dickinson's probably going to do this to me, isn't it? And they did.
Yes.
So
Yes, it
Fairleigh
is.
Dickinson. As my dad would say, fairly ridiculous, which I think we made that joke in last year's show, too.
Yep. Definitely. And finally, for this region, is Southern Utah and North Dakota. It is.
Southern Utah, it is.
Southern Utah. And last region, first match is Minnesota and St. Francis of New York.
St. Francis of New York, it is.
And the last match for the round of 16 is Purdue, Fort Wayne, and Pittsburgh. How does Pittsburgh win this one? They don't.
A likely story. Purdue, Fort Wayne, it is. Not the Purdue versus Pittsburgh matchup that I normally am rooting for, because this is a side school, Purdue, Fort Wayne.
Yep. All right, and now we have our. We can't call them Elite Eights anymore, can we?
I don't think the NCAA would allow us to.
Oh, okay. So now we have our 8 teams, I guess.
8 crazy nights. Or no, that's Jewish.
Let's see who gets into the
How about Crazy Eights? No,
round
that's
of
a shoe
4.
by Adidas. That's probably trademarked too.
Anyway, we're finding out who's into the round of 4.
Our Connect 4 times 2.
Anyway, we have Appalachian, not a state.
Representing the first region.
Yep. And then between Eastern Kentucky and Southern University, we have Southern
University representing the second region.
Then between Fairleigh Dickinson and Southern Utah.
And Southern Utah represents the third region.
This is weird.
I thought for sure it was going to be Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yeah. No. Anyway, and finally, St. Francis of New York and Purdue, Fort Wayne. We have.
I really feel like Harvard should have won this all. The fact that they didn't make it far enough really is.
Fort Wayne. Yeah, it would have been funny.
It would have been hilarious, man.
Yeah, well, anyway, so our final 4 teams are Appalachian State, Southern University, Southern Utah, and Purdue, Fort Wayne. Coincidentally, all coming from the lower part of their regions.
Sorry, you didn't put the seating in on the graphics. I thought you were going to say like the same geographical area. I was going to be like, what?
No.
I thought that was really your only play there. But
anyway, on to our last 4. Because I don't have a better name. So
it's the final 4 someway now. No.
Anyway, so between Appalachian State and Southern University, it's Appalachian State. And between Southern Utah and Purdue Fort Wayne. We have Southern Utah. Anything to say about these as
I think it would have been really funny if we got Southern versus Southern Utah.
Anything to say about these two teams that made it, though, as for a final two?
Congrats, and I hope the honeymoon is extra special.
All right. I meant anything aside from their honeymoon, you know?
Yeah, that they have a lovely first evening together. Because they might be Mormons and they may not have done anything before.
Oh.
Not even a peck on the cheek.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, Appalachian
You never
State.
know with a school like Southern Utah.
Appalachian
It's close
State
enough
and
to BYU.
So, anyway, let's see who wins. Champion is Southern Utah.
Let me grab the rundown here. We haven't really had a rundown. Southern Utah basketball. So what did we end up coming up with about Southern Utah basketball this season? On ESPN, load.
Yeah.
All right, they are all. This is boring. 20-4. They were the number one team in the Big Sky. They were 12-2 in conference. We actually may have gotten a team that won that deserved to win, but also Appalachian State won their conference tournament.
Yeah.
We actually got two good teams here, Sean.
Mm-hmm. Too bad we couldn't get Harvard all the way while not actually playing any game.
Well, Harvard is all about doing the work, and there's only so far you can go in an Ivy League school without doing it. They probably got bounced right around the time that a Harvard student either drops out or gives up. So it is what it is, and we're not here to dismiss of the Harvard Crimson, whatever they are. But the point here is if the Stanford Cardinal can be a tree, then the Harvard Crimson can be whatever they want to be.
Okay.
And I think that's a good mental breakdown and lapse of communication to end on.
Yeah, and next
a
episode,
lack of clarity.
And next episode, we will probably look into some baseball and hockey.
And maybe a therapist.
I think that needs to be looked into regardless.
Yeah, but it would be more fun if we did that towards the public.
All right, well, thanks for tuning in and catch you next time.